Hey, this is Roger Thunder with Ancient Soul. I'm going to do a video today, and it might be coming from an indigenous or Native American or Native perspective, since that's what this channel is all about. But first, let me start off by giving you the definition of terrorist. Look up terrorist, and here's what you'll find. And I went to several sources. So I'm going to try to do this in a very legal, objective manner, all right, without a whole lot of reference to past history, but I'll get into that too. So the definition of a terrorist is anybody that uses violence and fear against a civilian population to get a desired result, whatever that result is. But it's basically using violence, intimidation, and fear. Let's add intimidation into there. Violence and intimidation and fear on a civilian population. What is ICE doing right now? That's exactly what they're doing. So they fit the definition of a terrorist to a T. The Goon Squad is what I call them. And we've had the native history, the indigenous people have been going through this since day one. And the term Goon Squad was actually applied to a situation that went down at Wounded Knee in the 70s when the feds took over the reservation or came on the reservation and started killing people. And the head of the reservation, the tribal leader of the reservation, was in bed with the feds. And so he hired goon squads to go out and kill people on the reservation. Here's a picture of that time right here. You actually have a picture of the occupation of Wounded Knee. And if you look up there, you see you got tanks, you got half tracks, you got tanks, and then you got the guy in the middle who was part of AIM, or the American Indian Movement, who they had to arm up, they had to bear arms against the Goon Squad and the feds, all right? But I'm not going to go into that in depth right now because that's not what I'm here to talk about. What I'm here to talk about is how you can alleviate, or let's say maybe put a stop to, or let's say a stopgap for what we see is going on right now. So first of all, let's talk about arming yourself legally. Let me emphasize that. Legally, citizens arming themselves. We have billions of guns in the United States, and there are gun laws, all right? Now, in 41 states, you have the right, according to gun laws and my latest research, you have the right to open carry. What does that mean, open carry? Well, open carry means you can carry a pistol or a sidearm or a rifle or anything you want on your belt, in a shoulder holster, in your hand, all right? As long as it's not, as long as it's legal, okay? And in 41 states, it's legal to open carry. In other words, you can walk around and have a firearm showing, like a clip, a holster on your belt or underneath, in a shoulder holster. Again, so this is legal, people, in 41 states. Now, in some states, you might have to get permits, or I'm not real familiar with what's going on in Minnesota in that regard, although I know it is an open carry state. So my solution to this problem with ICE, the Goon Squad, unconstitutional, unlawful, is to have a group of citizens arm up. Now, if you arm up, that doesn't mean you're using the arms. That doesn't mean I'm saying, yeah, go out and arm up and fire at ICE agents and stuff like that. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying arm up, make it visible. And the plan as I see it, according to being legal, is to form up, let's say, maybe a platoon, 8 people, or 2 platoons, 16 people, or different platoons in different districts and different areas of citizens, and they can dress up in the same gear that the Goon Squad is dressed up. In other words, tactical gear, if you like. Put on your tactical gear, but no mask. No mask, all right? Because masks indicate to me the bad guy. In masks, if you look at a Western movie and you see the guys robbing a stagecoach, who's got the masks on? Is it the stage driver and the innocent civilians? And no, it's the guys that are swooping down out of the hills, firing their guns with their masks on. And why do they have a mask on? Because they don't want to be identified later, so that they're hung, all right? They don't want to be identified as having broken the law. And why would you wear a mask if everything you're doing is legal? So these citizens that arm themselves legally, open carry, non-concealed, form up in groups and go out and monitor what the fuck ICE is doing, and be in the area. Now, ICE is going to take one look at this and go, wow, there's other guys with guns too. You know, this is a intimidation factor for them to be intimidated. Doesn't matter whether you use the guns or not. It has no bearing on this whatsoever. Now, if you're a citizen posse, let's say, or a platoon, or a group of people that is going around just monitoring things without masks, and clearly identified, even you can have name tags on, you're not police officers. But here's the thing, any citizen, according to the powers of arrest that most security people go through, they have to go through this. I went through it when I was in security. You have to take a test, and that test is called the powers to arrest. And what that test tells you is that any citizen can arrest another citizen, all right, as long as if they think that other citizen is doing something unlawful, they have the right to intervene and say, I'm making a citizen's arrest on you. Well, if you have a group of people with arms, armed up, okay, and they could also have armbands on to indicate that they're monitors, that they're monitoring the situation. Citizen group, whatever name you want to put on there, or even the state actually could do this, really, the state of Minnesota or any state. But what I'm saying here is citizens have the same rights to powers to arrest and to police as the regular police do. So you go out there and you arm up. And this shit with blowing whistles and dressing up in frog suits like in Portland, and bumblebee suits, and is that battle gear, people? No, you got to match battle gear for battle gear. That's what you got to do. You don't go out there like some, I won't use the name I'm thinking of, but you don't go out there dressed up as a frog, or you don't go out there blowing whistles and trying to warn people, and you're asking to get shot dead by these thugs, because these people are thugs. They're not sworn police officers. Well, they may say they are, but if they are, they're not acting like sworn police officers. So let's say this citizen group is there and they're armed and they're looking at ICE, and ICE comes in and they're going to go into a house, or they're going to approach a car, and they're going to say, they're just going to force their way in. Well, the armed group, the armed citizen group, can go right up to him right then and say, where's your warrant? Where's the probable cause? Where's the warrant signed by a judge that gives you probable cause to go in this place? Let us see your legal papers. Otherwise, you're not going in there, motherfucker. That's it. And this thing about just breaking people's car windows, shooting people in the head, all this kind of stuff. Do you think these people would be doing this if there was a group of citizen soldiers, just like in 1776, back in the American Revolution? Citizens were armed, citizens and groups of citizens. This is the same thing that I'm talking about here. This is the same thing. This is a stopgap. This is a way to intimidate, or at least to put on notice, hey, we're watching you, we're armed, we're legal to make an arrest. Where's your warrant? You don't go up and break people's window at a gas station. I've seen several videos, and yank them out of their car without probable cause, without some indication that this person violated the law. And you don't even do it then. Police officers are supposed to be courteous. They're supposed to have a badge and a badge number and a name and no mask, so that you can identify who it is that's trying to arrest you or even stopping you, right? But this bullshit about just having groups of people on the street dressed up, no badges, masks, no training. Most of these people are like either mercenaries, hired thugs, mercenaries, hired warriors, hired killers, or they're people that they recruited off the street that have no police training, or no extensive police training, or haven't gone through police boot camp or anything like that, all right? That's what this is all about. It's just a group of thugs, as far as I'm concerned, because they're not following protocol. They're not following police protocol. If you get pulled over by the cops and you're in your car for a ticket or something, does a guy come up? First of all, do they force you off the road and jump out of their cars with masks on and headgear and guns all strapped to them, and, say, get the fuck out of the car, and start yanking on your door? Shit, no, that's not police protocol at all. Has nothing to do with it. So most of you brain dead fucks out there, yeah, I'm getting pissed off, because hoka hey, in the spirit of Crazy Horse, this shit don't fly. Not, So the Constitution is involved here too. This is unconstitutional. I know the Constitution. A lot of people know the Constitution. Inside out, forwards and backwards. First Amendment, freedom of speech. Second Amendment, right to bear arms. Fourth Amendment, against unlawful search and seizure and molesting your private person. This is all Constitution, and all of this stuff is being violated. So that's why I say, wake the fuck up. Oh, what are we going to do? We're going to go out and have mass protests. Well, yeah, you should have that too. You should have that too. It's okay to go out and But it's also a right of every citizen is to go out and peacefully protest, right? But you could peacefully protest armed. If the laws of that state say, hey, you know what? You can carry a weapon as long as it's unconcealed. And most cops don't like concealed weapons because they can't see them and they don't know if they're going to get shot. But if it's unconcealed, on your belt, hell, you could have a bandolero, over you, like Pancho Villa. You could have a gun. You could have anything you want as long as it's legal to that state to open carry. Check your local gun laws. I know it's not legal in California. Well, wow, go figure that, huh? California and some other states, a couple of other states, it's not legal to open carry, all right? But in Nevada and in all these other states, it's legal to open carry. And what will that do to the ICE people when they see a bunch of people coming up in the same kind of gear? You could wear camis, you could do whatever you want. You can get fancy if you want. You know what I'm saying? But you should have a person that is the head of that group, like let's say a commander or somebody that oversees that group. And this group has to be, it would be better if you got people that had spotless records. Well, they can't open carry and they can't have a gun unless they do anyway. Now, the rub is non-citizens can't do this. In other words, if they're going after people that are don't have their citizenship yet or come into this country illegally, well, no, those people can't arm up because they're not. This wouldn't be legal. They're not citizens. But the ones that want to protect these people that are citizens can arm up. Arm up against the Goon Squad. Keep them in check. Because that's what this is. Unless they're following police protocol, unless they got a warrant that says, hey, you know what? Hernando Garcia or whatever it is, that's just a name I'm using off the top of my head, is an illegal citizen. And I thought originally this whole thing was supposed to be about criminals. It was supposed to be about criminal illegals, rounding up, supposed members of this gang or that gang or people that have violated the law or people that are fucking criminals. Not the guy, not the Hispanic worker working at Target or has been here for like 10 years or 8 years and has a family and a family life. And I don't give a fuck if they're illegal. Now, do I care about if thousands of people come over the border illegally? Well, hell yes, anybody would. But people that are already here, this is not the procedure, okay, that is used, okay, in America. And let's talk about America. Let's talk about the Constitution. Let's talk about, I just named off the Bill of Rights and the amendments and the First and Second Amendment. What was this Constitution patterned after? Well, as an indigenous person, as a native, I can tell you that it was patterned after the First Nations on the northeast coast of America, then called Turtle Island. It was patterned after the Iroquois and the Chippewa and the Anishinaabe people, the Confederacy back then. They had their own constitution. There were some really good parts in it. So what did the Founding Fathers do? They took some of the stuff out of there. And the Founding Fathers put in a lot of stuff about tyranny too, because right before the American Revolution, they were experiencing the same thing that the Goon Squads are doing now. The Brits were breaking in houses, searching people's houses without cause, molesting people, harassing people, committing violence on people. That's exactly what is happening now. And you got this mob boss, Trump, and I'm not political, I'm not Democrat, I'm an Indian. I'm not Republican, I'm not Democrat, I hate politics. Politics is a religion. It's a belief system that is broken, doesn't work, it's all corrupt. Politicians, politics, many blood-sucking ticks. And when you got rivalry going on between, like, say, Trump or maybe the governor of Minnesota, because he supposedly there's some kind of fraud, accusation of fraud or whatever. That's just like one mob boss battling another mob boss. It's one mob boss battling another mob boss. And while they're doing this, all kinds of people are suffering and being kidnapped. And are you kidding me? You can't pull somebody out of a car and just disappear them and take them to a facility and they're never seen again. That's not America. That's not the white man's America at all. That isn't constitutional. That isn't following police protocol. That isn't giving a person, reading them Miranda rights and saying you have the right to remain. Do they do that too? I doubt it. They just break in cars and break in and they're like, where's your fucking warrant, motherfucker? And don't people know this in the population? Doesn't the government know? Like the state government? Don't they know this is illegal? Where's your balls? Warrior up, hoka hey. It is a good day to die. Courage up, my boys. That's what Crazy Horse said to his warriors as he was approaching the Battle of the Greasy Grass, the Battle of the Little Bighorn against Custer, outnumbered. How would it be if, Crazy Horse went out there and said, I'm going to blow my whistle now and you guys better stop. Or I'm going to beat my drum and blow my whistle, and that'll take care of it. That'll intimidate you from committing genocide and taking our land and killing our people and a host of other things. You need to think about this, people, and do your research. And I know about law enforcement because I was in security several times. I had high security clearances and was a bodyguard bodyguard and chauffeur for some elites for a while, and had to study the powers to arrest, had to study the Constitution, had to know all that stuff. So I'm not talking out of my ass here. All right, I know this shit. But these people that are going out like this Renee, this white woman that got shot in the head, that shit wouldn't have happened if you would have had monitors around there. And this blowing the whistles and mouthing off and going, shame, 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 that's pathetic. It's pathetic. That ain't stopping anything. Does it look like it's stopping anything? No, they're sending 1,000 more people in. That isn't how you stop shit. You stop shit by being a warrior and arming up and gearing up legally. Even though they're illegal, you don't have to be. Because I'm telling you, if it isn't done this way, If it isn't done this way, people are going to start coming out of the woodwork. People are going to get frustrated. People are going to get violent. And there are billions of guns out there that could be used unlawfully. Hell, people could start picking off ice from the rooftops and with sniper rifles and the boiling point. And is this what they want? Is this what Trump wants? Is this what the government wants? Is to have people just get so frustrated and so fearful? Remember the definition of a terrorist: using fear, intimidation, and violence against a civilian population. Is this what they want? Is this what the government wants? A civil war? And you got these idiots, on the left and on the right. You got these idiots, depending on which channel you watch. If you're watching Fox, you got all these people saying, "Don't block our police. Let them do what they need to do. Get the illegals out of here. Arrest them." Just harsh language with no fucking concept of like the Constitution or the United States or what this could cause, or it could get to a breaking point and cause civil war and blood in the streets. And maybe this is what the government wants: civil war, the Hegelian dialectic, divide and conquer. I don't think maybe. I think that's the agenda. What other agenda would you have? Oh, we're going to get rid of the criminals that have come over this border. Fine. Go get the criminal, get a warrant, name the criminal, have a warrant there saying you're a criminal and we're arresting you, but break it into people's cars, shooting protesters? Hello? I hope I covered everything here because I want to keep this video short and I want to keep it legal, so it'll get up on YouTube without getting taken down or whatever. And no, I'm not afraid of the fucking Goon Squad, all right? It's called cojones. It's called hokahe, courage up, my boys. And face the enemy. Now, if something, if you have monitors, legally armed monitors, and again, the state could even do this. They could form their own militia. States have been known in the past to just form their own militias. And I'm not talking about the National Guard here. It's legal for states to form a state militia. Now, it evolved into the National Guard, sure. But when it evolved into the National Guard, there were strings attached to feds, okay? There were strings attached to where they are somewhat controlled by the feds, all right? You're not even supposed to have a standing army according to the forefathers of this country, the founding fathers. You're not supposed to have a standing army even, just for this reason, so that it couldn't be used against the people. And this isn't even a legal standing army. These goons, these criminal thugs, the same guys in the old westerns that swooped down and shot people in stagecoaches and created havoc. And even in town, they did land deals. And, in the old westerns, I'm going to take that land, or I'm a cattle baron and I'm not letting the settlers come in. And even though it was illegal. And this is how the white man and his ideology has fucked things up. And now you're on the reservation. You're on the reservation. This is the white man's turning against his own, in a sense. I mean, the excuse is we're getting illegals, but if you're shooting white women, Man, people are stupid. And I'm not necessarily talking about the people that watch this channel, because they know me and they listen to me and they know what I'm talking about here. But this is an indigenous thing as well, because guess what? People are coming off the res, walking off the res to go into town to do a shopping or something. That's really what's got my back up. Is that they're starting to arrest Indians, the red man. And guess what? Mexicans are half Indian. Mexicans are half Indian unless they're like, let's say, a special combination of Spanish and some other, not Indian, but Spanish and, say, some other country, Middle Eastern country. There's mixtures, right? But most Mexicans are mestizos, combination of two cultures, two tribes. Okay, so you got the Mexicans, and then you got the Spanish. That's purebred. But when you're a Mexican, you're half Indian, and it could be Mayan or Aztec or any tribe, and you're half Spanish. So really, this whole thing about attacking illegals, that's a loose term too. You could brand anybody an illegal. An innocent guy could go into town, be a person of color, Mexican, dark hair. They don't stop to ask you. They're profiling. They're profiling. This is racist. And you know what? If people don't stand up in America, the white man, the normal everyday citizen, if you don't stand up and stop this, you're next. You're next. And you're already living on the res. I mean, I can't even believe the shit I'm seeing right now. It got me so pissed off, it's like, man, I gotta calm down. I was gonna do video on this right away, and it's like, no, I'm going to calm down. Doesn't sound like I am, though, does it? You should have seen me before. You should have seen me before. I'm mellow now. So get with it, people. Use your own laws, your own constitution, your own right to bear arms. All right? Bear arms. It doesn't mean you fire at people. You're just baring your arms and letting them know, hey, I'm armed too, motherfucker. So tread lightly. Don't tread on me. That's it. It's real simple. Stand up instead of being a fucking pussy and blowing whistles and doing this and dressing up in funny suits and saying shame, shame, shame. I could just imagine that, the Battle of Little Bighorn, Sitting Bull and Crazy Horse going, shame on you, shame on you. You guys can't kill us. Wake up, people. Spread this around too, this video, and let people know they have options. Don't just get paralyzed in fear and go, oh my God, all we can do is peaceful protest. Well, you can do peaceful protest armed, too. But you got something to back it up in case some asshole wants to put a cap in your head. And they're not going to be doing that if they see organized people coming out, the organized militia, citizens militia, with guys that maybe are ex-vets, ex-cops, whatever, that are on the side of the white man's constitution, not against it. I'll leave it there, so I'll just say hoka hey aho and listen up.